police officer just got 30 years in prison for killing a civilian. This is Kenya News Update today. Coming up, you'll discover the shocking details of a brutal beating at a hotel, why a murder charge was downgraded, and what this means for police accountability across the nation. Meet the officer, now a convict. On the night of May 24, 2020, at the Equator Springs Hotel in Gua Kung U Township, Nyandarua County, a civilian died from severe head injuries. The court heard it was a brutal beating, but here's the twist. The officer wasn't convicted of murder. He was convicted of manslaughter. And the reason why reveals a critical flaw in the justice system. The High Court in Olkalu, with Justice Kiari Iwaweru presiding, delivered the sentence on February 4, 2026. The prosecution, led by the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, had charged the officer with murder. The case was investigated by the Independent Policing Oversight Authority, IPOA, the body meant to hold police accountable. They presented evidence of a brutal beating. A doctor's testimony confirmed the victim died from multiple blunt force injuries to the head. Yet the murder charge did not stick. Here's the part that will blow your mind. Under Section 206 of Kenya's Penal Code, to prove murder, you must prove malice aforethought. You must prove an explicit intention to kill or cause grievous harm. Justice Waweru ruled the prosecution failed to meet that high legal threshold, so the charge was downgraded, from murder to manslaughter. The result? A 30-year prison sentence instead of a possible life term, and this case is not isolated. This recent ruling comes just days after another seismic judgment. A court in Mombasa handed a former police officer commanding station, an OCS, a life imprisonment for murder. That officer was convicted of killing 20-year-old Mbara Kamaita Omar back in 2018 in Likoni. In that ruling, Lady Justice Wendy Kajendo noted the officer had a duty to protect life but instead used unlawful force against an unarmed, defenseless civilian. 2 cases, 2 convictions, but one got life, the other got 30 years. The contrast is stark, and it's drawing national attention to a burning issue, excessive use of force, and the struggle for real police accountability in Kenya. Back in the Ol Kalu case, the journey to the sentence was complex. The officer, named Nyaga, was initially charged alongside 2 civilians. One civilian was acquitted due to lack of evidence. The other remains at large, wanted for murder. So only the police officer faced the full weight of the court. And here's what nobody's talking about. The 30-year sentence is a significant punishment, but it stems from a failure to prove intent. The court found his actions led to death, but not that he necessarily meant to kill. This legal technicality is now the center of a huge debate. Some say it's a just conviction that holds an officer responsible. Others argue it's a compromise that lets a brutal act off with a lighter label. The victim's family sought murder. They got manslaughter. For them, the difference is everything. With the ruling, the convicted officer has 14 days to appeal to the Court of Appeal. So this story is far from over. The implications are massive for every Kenyan. When those sworn to protect us become the perpetrators, where do we turn? IPOA's role is crucial, but as these cases show, investigation is one thing, conviction is another. The tension between the National Police Service and the public is palpable. Trust is broken. And these court rulings are trying to piece it back together, one case at a time. But if a brutal beating that causes death isn't murder in the eyes of the law, what is? That's the unanswered question hanging over this entire saga. Some see a step toward accountability. Others see a legal loophole that shields the worst intentions. The officer is jailed. But is justice fully served? Do you think a 30-year sentence for a police officer who caused a death is enough? Or should the charge have remained murder? Drop your take in the comments. This was Kenya News Update today. Subscribe for more breaking news that holds power to account.